Is it too little, too late for iiRcade? NBA Jam breaks the time cop rule. And if Arcade 1Up brings us a NeoGeo cab, will it cost $1,000? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened last week and look forward to what's going to happen next week. This week was absolutely nothing from Arcade 1Up. So we're going to talk about iiRcade. 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 I think it's just iiRcade. We're going to go with iiRcade for the proper pronunciation. I am sure that if you're in the chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, you'll correct me. I can rely on that. Tonight's bourbon. Don't get mad. It's not Bullet. 1792, small batch. I saw Bullet bourbon. It was in a bottle this big. I've never tried Bullet bourbon yet. It's going to happen. If they had a smaller portion, I would have definitely gotten it. But I didn't want to look like a person who has a problem. And, I don't want to commit when I haven't tried it yet. So as soon as I find a smaller bottle, we're going to get it. I promise. It's going to come. It's going to happen. And hopefully you will be here for it. Thanks for stopping by. I know I got a lot of Bullet bourbon fans that are going to be disappointed, but don't worry. Rest assured, I'm pretty sure next week it should happen. I'll be traveling around, so if I can't find it here, I'll find it wherever else I happen to be. Over in the chat, we got a poll as we do every single week. Here's a question, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. For those who do not own an iiRcade, would you buy their next generation cab if it was $8.99? Let me know what you think in the chat. We'll check that out a little bit later. That poll will be up for the duration of the show. So I'm alone this week. No console kits. Justin did not do a stream tonight. And I know that you'll probably join me in wishing him a speedy return. Not recovery. I don't think the guy's sick, but, life gets in the way. And I don't know what's going on. We all have personal stuff going on. And like I said, life sort of gets in the way. But I know that you are anxious to see him back. I'm anxious to see him back. And come on, buddy. Get back on the saddle. We miss you. We definitely miss you. And I also miss everybody over here in the chat. Let's say hi to a few of you crazy people. Endangered Dog. Once again, the dog shouldn't remain in danger this long. 19K Fox with a dynamite. He thinks I'm dynamite is what I'm taking away from that. Hey, everybody. Hey, Shaned 2000 to you as well. Fatal J with the multiple foxes and a guy with the glasses on, his sunglasses. Cool. It's like a whole bunch of foxes and then Fatals over there. Fatal, you're blowing up, buddy. Thank you so much for stopping by to the little channels, saying hi to the little people. I appreciate it. TMA, not too much. Too much. TMI was too much information, wasn't it? Yeah, that's not the right acronym. 2 Mile Arcade. What up, Battle? How the hell are you? How you doing? Good to see you. Now, Rainbow, come on, buddy. Okay, 19K Fox. Let's do this. Gloves on. LOL. No gloves. Not bare knuckle. Discussion, brother. Discussion. Art Davison, what up? 19K Fox and all exclamation point lets you know he's serious. He's excited. Thanks, Art. Majanian, buddy, how the hell are you? I don't think I've seen you in a couple weeks, man. Nice to see you back. Let's do this, Papa Brad's Gaming. How the hell are you? Made in Canada. Let's rock. The struggle is real in Canada, brother. I'm with you. Or sister. Men, women can all be made in Canada. Whoever you may be, we're with you. Vic Vicious 75, evening peeps. How the hell are you? Memes of destruction. How you doing, buddy? Hey guys, what's going on? Just chilling, kicking it. Yo, hashtag NFL Blitz. You ain't kidding. Hopsy66, what up, Fox? Cheers. Cheers indeed. The 1792, the small batch specifically, you're talking about 46% alcohol, 46.85, so it's almost 47. It's got a little bite to it. Sticks with you just a little bit. So not as smooth as my favorite, which is Jefferson, which quickly becoming Jefferson's. There's many more bourbons still left to try. I'm not trying to single anything out yet, but it's definitely a great go-to for sure. Definitely great. Mike of all trades. Moat, how the hell are you? Wait. Is that a real poll question, 19K? You must want to upset some folks. It's not my intent. It is an exploratory question, though, Moat. We got to find out where people stand. We got to know what's going on. I'm trying to do a little market research for the good people over at iiRcade. Price speculation is bad for all customers, and it is plain lazy but it's so much fun. Come on. This is for me. This is not from anybody else. This is not even a rumor, nothing I've heard. This is just me throwing something out there against the wall to see if it sticks. And it's not always crap. Charlie, Chuck, what's going on? Trying to sell my iiRcade, so no interest in buying the new one. That's what we're here to discuss. That's what I want to talk about. I want to hear from you. Asthmatic. What's going on? Hey, Fox, upgrading Suzo buttons and IL joysticks on Big Blue. Nice choice. Stock hardware sucks for fighting games. Yes, it does. There are some severe limitations for sure. Tammy G, how are you, ma'am? Nope. Took the bait at $2.99. You're no dummy, no siree. $2.99. It's a damn good price. Yes, took. Gotcha. Bozo, Calvin Jr., how the hell are you? Hi, 19K Fox. It's Bourbon Sunday. Cheers. Absolutely. Bourbon Sunday it is. Absolutely. AWOL 101. What up, Sarge? Who? Doing well. Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there. Always wondering if I could pass a PT test. I don't know what the standards are for a 45-year-old. It's probably like, hey, he showed up. You win. Here's a trophy. Steve V. Man Cave Arcade. What's up, Fox? Do you have any interest in the XL, the X.L dot? That's actually, we don't even know, right? Is it XL? Is it X.L dot? We don't even know, right? They're leaving us just out here wondering, spinning in the wind. And the Pro Series cabs. If so, are you selling your 3/4 scale cabs for the bigger form factor? Me personally, I like the 3/4 scale size. I'm pretty committed to the 3/4 scale. I'm pretty committed. I think a lot of us are. Look at, just go to YouTube. Look at Game Room Tours. There's a lot of people that are really happy with that 3/4 scale size. I am on the fence unless it comes to, hey, you're only going to get this game in this form factor. What do you do? I'm looking at you, Golden TXL. If I'm not going to get another Golden T, if I'm not going to get another bowling game, and this is my only shot, I'll lean that direction. So we got to divide and conquer. We got to chop up our arcades, right? We got to have like me, I got the common riser for the 3/4. We got to have a spot maybe over here by the pinballs where we put our XLs. Change it up, because do I want them side by side? I don't think so. I just don't think so. Oh, I'm being blessed. Beyond words, new sensation, 5150, $10. Thanks for the support, Foxy. Here is some of that money back. Now the support is the money back. The support is the reward, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm blessed to be part of it. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it. What is appropriate? I think this says it all. From one lethal lady to another. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $10. Mr. Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Hey, Fox, I'm having dinner with the fam, so have a great show, and cheers, brother. Catch me on the replay, but you got your priorities straight. Family is definitely more important. $9.99. Super chat, man. I appreciate it. And I give you what you want. I give you what you need. Here you go. Thanks again for the $10 super chat. And I got another one. My brother, Twisted Gaming TV, Twisted Chris over there, is about to watch a movie, but just wanted to come by and say hello, brother. I appreciate you, man. $5 from the Twisted One, and only the best will do. Here you go. I did just watch Uncharted. Yeah. Wait till it's on streaming. I'll just say that. It's fine. It's one thing when you got a game and stuff happening in a game, and you can get with that, you can roll with that, it's fine, and you can feel that coming, it's fine. But when it's in a movie, so it doesn't work all the time. It's fine. Movie's fine. Check it out on streaming, but probably don't go see it in a movie theater. It's not worth a ticket. Not worth a ticket at all. P-Dogs, my brother, how you doing? The $8.99 price tag for iiRcade Pro is just speculation. No price confirmed yet. Absolutely. This is just me, the Arcade 1-Up guy, speculating on the iiRcade stuff. Just throwing it out there. because we got some things to discuss. 91 people in the chat. Please, if you could, smash the like button. Really helps the channel. Now, let's take a drink and prepare as I set sail. Uncharted waters. We're going to talk about iiRcade because what else has happened? Not much. We're all still stunned, shock and awe with the XL cabs, Shaq XL, NBA Jam. We're talking about that one later, okay? But for right now, I wanted to talk a little bit about iiRcade and what they announced. Not much. Not much. We're going to get into exactly what they announced here in a little bit. You know what? I think I don't actually have that slide ready. Let me go ahead and get that ready while we're talking about iiRcade, the home console. The home console. Now, see, I haven't called it necessarily the home console. Others have called it the home console. Let me bring this up. Can't do that. Let me kill this one. Got too many slides showing. Let me remove that. Bring this up. I'm talking you through it as if you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. So this is what we got fresh from iiRcade. We have a special edition, the Mayhem Brawler. Great game, fun game. This one's limited to 100 units. It's the 128 gigabyte bundle. You're getting Sandwalk controls. You're getting a superior construction as compared to Arcade 1Up. Yeah, I said it. That's what I said. So there it is. That's the latest and greatest from them. Still the original cabinet design. Not getting that new cabinet design yet, but this is what they threw out there. But let me go back to what I just said. iiRcade is the home console. To sort of separate themselves from Arcade 1Up in, one way or another, they've decided to sort of be viewed in that way. I think I've heard some people say they're more of a console. Some people from Arcade 1Up, or I'm sorry, iiRcade have said they are a console. Others in the community have referred to them as a home console. I think it's an accurate way to describe them as a home console, because you think of home console as not just the device itself, but the games that can be played on it, the things that are brought to the console, right? But the console is sort of the hub. Whereas an Arcade 1Up it's really not a console. It's an arcade replica, but what you see is what you get. There's no additional things that are going to ever come to it, unless you count a stool, which is fine, but I don't think it's the same. So if it's a home console, that's fine, but that puts them kind of in murky waters, right? That puts them in sort of direct competition, indirect competition with some pretty heavy hitters. For the purpose of this discussion, I want to talk about Sony, PlayStation, and the Nintendo Switch. Let's take a look at their install base. I had to highlight it because it's kind of small. You can see the website up top that I used to verify my source. All full transparency here on the 19 Bucks channel. Currently, this is the install base. This is where they sit it. And I've highlighted the North American numbers because I think that's what's important. Not so much the global, install base, because that's not really relevant for iiRcade and what they do. They don't really ship worldwide. I think it's, South Korea and North America. It's kind of a weird I guess that's their factories in South Korea. I don't know. But anyway, so you've got a very limited area that they're available. So I think North America would be a great point of comparison. So when it comes to PlayStation 4, which I still consider I guess it's still current gen, right? I mean, PlayStation 5 is, I don't know, it's like a weird time, right? Anybody can get a Switch now. I think for the most part, they're back in stock places. You can go to a website, you can find them. PS5, you still can't really find them. Kind of disappointing, kind of sucks. Unless you go to that guy on Facebook Marketplace who's been selling his for $1,000. He just dropped it to $950, so maybe you could take him up on that. But I'm not. I'm waiting for Best Buy to just get them in stock. So we're going to go with the numbers for PlayStation 4 for now, because if you don't have your 5 yet, which is most people, you have a 4. So you're rocking a 4, and you're looking at an install base of 38.6 million in the US, in North America, right? Whereas a Nintendo Switch, you're looking at an install base of 38.3 million. That's a lot. Might be, yes, there is Xbox love, but they're lower on the list. And I don't want to overpopulate this list too much. But we love Xbox. We can't deny what Xbox does. We're just going to go with these numbers because they're bigger. They're bigger. So, just for the purpose of this discussion. But no, I got family members who have Xbox. No, not an Xbox 8 here. But yeah, so specifically the Nintendo Switch, I think is more of its competition, right? Because we're not talking about just We're not talking about just another console. We're talking about something known for its, what is it? Whatever. The unique experience, right? The unique form factor, where that sort of is what Nintendo Switch has. That's the edge it has. You can't do that with a PlayStation. You can't take it out of dock mode and throw it in your bag and go on the road, right? You can't do that. That's what Nintendo brings to the table. It also brings a couple more things to the table. PlayStation and Xbox have the horsepower, though, right? They've always had the horsepower. That's their game. That's their eternal struggle. The infinite struggle of the horsepower wars is always going to be those two, right? Unless somebody else kind of comes out of nowhere. But it's those two horsepower fighting back to back. And they're also struggling over IPs. They're acquiring different studios, buying this studio, buying that studio, trying to bring that into themselves. Because I think that they understand, and this is the important point, is that horsepower is great, but Nintendo proves it every single console cycle. It's really more about the IP. It's about the software. It's about the games. It's about the games. That is what really distinguishes this console from that console. And it's been that way since the beginning of games in general. What's the killer app? PlayStation, what do you think of? It's not Spyro anymore, right? It's God of War. When's the next God of War coming? Or Spider-Man? That's what I'm thinking of. Nintendo, what do you think of? Mario. What's the next Mario thing? Mario whatever. Mario Kart. Mario World. Mario Galaxy. Mario, Black Hole. I don't know. Mario everything, right? These are the things, because it's not just the hardware, which is very important, but it's what are we playing on the hardware? What are we using it for? It's a very, very important point to make. Software, right? Software is the key. The IPs, where Nintendo has they're the in-house IP, right? They're portable. They got the unique form factor. Killer apps make all the difference. And killer apps is where we want to kind of focus when we're talking about iiRcade. Their latest and greatest, the thing that they just showed off, is the new Mayhem Brawlers cabinet you can pre-order. But it's not a new cabinet. It's their old cabinet design. I say old, with kind of a wink and a nod, because their old is still more powerful than I think anything Arcade1Up's putting out. To be fair, right? I've floated my interest out there when I talk about Dreamcast. Can we see a Dreamcast title come? I don't know. But let's talk about Mayhem Brawler specifically. It's definitely an awesome game. It brings us back. It brings back some of those great memories of the 16-bit fighter or beat 'em ups, that era. The art style is beautiful. It's a great game. It's a fun game. And right now, you can buy it on as part of their game service for $20. So right off the bat, it's kind of weird that we're just now able to pre-order what's basically a sticker pack or a graphical upgrade, right, for the cabinet itself. This doesn't really tie into the game, but that's fine, whatever. But you can get the game now. This is going to be limited to 100, so if you've been holding out and you really like this game, great. Here's a problem. Well, one problem in particular. We're talking about killer apps. This could be definitely considered a killer app for iiRcade, right? Not so much. The same game is still available at the same price over on the eShop and on PSN. I didn't check out Xbox. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's fine. Once again, for the purposes of this discussion, we're talking Nintendo and PlayStation, because Nintendo has a lot more in common, I think, and in more direct competition with iiRcade than the heavy hitters. So PlayStation is going to be the placeholder for the heavy hitters. So in this specific example, there's no real difference. Price is the same game. Not the end of the world, but they lose a little bit of their uniqueness because of that, right? And some of the reasons why I really wanted to talk about this is because I've got a PS4 and I'm a PlayStation guy, but I've been thinking about getting a Switch OLED. They're becoming available. I'm thinking about it. The portability, I travel a lot. It's something I'm thinking of, but it got me thinking about this unique form factor. And I like to play a lot of retro games and arcade games, and it got me going down this path. And this is as a shopper, as a consumer, as someone who's going to make a purchase. I'm ready to spend $350 on an OLED Switch. Okay, a couple $100 more, I can have an iiRcade. What does iiRcade do for me that maybe another console couldn't, since we're all in the console space. So you begin to go down these roads and you start looking at things like this. Oh, Mayhem Brawlers. Wow, they got this cabinet coming out. That's awesome. But it's also, well, it's already available on consoles, other consoles. It's available on PlayStation and Switch. So then you start going down this road, right? And you start looking at, okay, well, what else does iiRcade offer right now? Something that, man, that would be something. I like that game. That's something I want to go for that. That would make me get the console. And you start going down the list. Retro Mania Wrestling, that's awesome. $30, cool. It's also $30 over on PSN and eShop. No separation, no distinction there whatsoever. Another one is Dead Cells. We see that beautiful artwork on that new cab they have announced. And that's not just the only artwork that's going to be on that new cab at the marquee. They showed off Double Dragon and other stuff. So Dead Cells. Okay, well, let's go down that road. Is that something for the uninitiated, for the uninformed? Is that just going to be like an iiRcade thing? Is it going to be what? Oh, okay, no, it turns out it's not. It is available on PSN and eShop. They're both for $25, right? All three locations. But then you start asking yourself, like, as a consumer, as an uninformed person, somebody looking at this, okay, from the outside looking in, okay, but PSN and eShop are talking about DLC. Is the DLC available on the iiRcade? Sorry, the iiRcade. Not clear to me, not being an owner. I would probably, to delve into this a little further, I'd probably reach out to one of the people that have one and say, hey, real quick, is the DLC available? Is that a pack? What do you got to do? But you're looking at the prices are all very much the same here. Not much of a distinction, really. Okay. Now let's go down a little bit of a different road. Still looking at the games, but say, all right, well, let's look at some older games, right? And this is probably the biggest cause of concern. But let's go down, look at some retro titles, right? Some older stuff. What is it that they've announced? It's kind of cool. Okay, that's cool. I want to check that out. And is that available on other consoles? Once again, somebody thinking about, Switch and iiRcade and all that. Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove, is only $15 on iiRcade, but it's also $15 on the eShop. What about Double Dragon 2? I like Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon 3 is horrible. It's not good. Rosetta Stone, you can keep the stone. I don't want it. But Double Dragon 1 and 2 are awesome. Think about Double Dragon 2 and it's $10. It's $10 on the iiRcade, which isn't that bad per se. But then you look at the PSN, it's only $8. If I've got a PlayStation, I could just download it. $8, $7.99. I can get it over on Sony and I'm good to go. And it's only $5 at the eShop. But then there's a caveat. So, okay, but if I get an iiRcade, the first Double Dragon is going to be included. So that works into the math a little bit too, right? Okay, if I was going to get both Double Dragons over on the eShop, that would cost $10, which is what I would pay for iiRcade. But the first, okay, so that almost kind of evens out. But you can see what we're starting to see here, or what I'm starting to see, trying to illustrate, is that we're not having a lot of separation. We're talking about killer apps and things that would separate your console from the other console. I'm not seeing it yet. I'm actually seeing some distinctions that are in the negative, where we have the same game more expensive. That's not good. That's not good when you're already talking about a console that's more expensive than the other consoles that you're pseudo competing with. I'm not going to sit here and say they're in direct competition with Nintendo Switch, because I don't think that's really fair. I don't think that's 100% accurate. But it is a space it's a unique space that iiRcade finds himself in. And it's important that we look at this seriously. Just buy the damn OLED Switch. Damn. Dragging us out, Fox. But what if I want to buy both? What if I want to buy both? But let's talk about the game that I think probably, it didn't start at all, but it's definitely got a ton of recognition. I bought the physical copy from Limited Run Games super deluxe version with cases and cases. It comes with extra case and all that. It was really ridiculous. Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4. Absolutely amazing game. Talk about the feels, talk about, the 16-bit era coming back to life. I mean, just everything just maxed out, right? To infinity and beyond, right? Absolutely love that game. It's still available right now for $25 if you want to download it off the PSN or the eShop. I'm not sure. I don't think you can still get a physical copy anymore. But it's not available on iiRcade. Something interesting that I noticed when I was watching RGT85 talking about the upcoming games for Switch. Some of you may have seen this too, where we have Shredder's Revenge is, hey, it's coming soon. Soon, right? We've heard that a lot before. It may never come, I don't know, but it's listed as coming this year sometime, maybe, perhaps. Head on over to the PSN and they are saying the same thing, coming soon. Not a lot of specificity, but it's coming soon. I don't see anything from iiRcade. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. Just another way to kind of separate yourself, right? When you're talking about differences between consoles, the software, the killer app, that's where we're at. I think that these games are definitely in line with each other. How many times have we said this? I've seen it on the iiRcade live streams. I'm not there to beat nobody up. I'm sitting there watching most of the time, just hanging out, chilling. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about, hey, Shredder's Revenge, that'd be awesome. That'd be sweet. It really would. I think that there's a yearning there for a killer app and a big marquee title, something to get people really excited about that arcade, that console, that experience that is definitely unique. I mean, for sure. I mean, it sets itself apart from a lot of different things. It is a unique form factor. You've got a superior build quality. But I keep coming back to the lack of AAA titles, or just the lack of titles that I find interesting, or a lack of exclusivity, titles that I can only get on iiRcade in some way, shape, or form. Wolf says, I will buy T2 and Red Razor for $4.99. It's a good, very good price point. Very good price point. Absolutely. Okay, yeah, I actually saw some of these too. Would love to see Streets of Rage 4, Shredder's Revenge, River City Girls. There's another one. iiRcade. Why aren't these games that are out there, retro-inspired, updated graphics, have a following, have a lot of people passionate about these games, downloading the hell out of them? Why aren't they making their way to the iiRcade console? Why? Because you have some heavy hitters, you have some big investors. If you do a little bit of a Google search, you'll find millions, I think $8 million worth of investment. And a lot of that, and I will never take anything away from the fact that it costs a ton of money to physically build these things. The engineering up front to have these things, to get to a point where you can design them to where they can break down, fit in a flat pack box, ship them out to people, and to be assembled in a way that they're not just going to crumble, investing in the tooling and in setting up the assembly lines to put the stuff together. I get that. There's a lot of money you got to spend up front. I'm not going to take anything away from that because we're getting a physical thing. This isn't just, a downloadable title. This is something physical. But I think that, you got to take some of that money. You got to reallocate it for something else. We've got another huge issue. Another big issue. This is going to affect more than just iiRcade, but it's hurting iiRcade. If anybody here in the chat watching the replay, if you've got a modern console at all, go to your store and do this. Type in all caps ACA and see what comes up. All caps ACA, eShop, PSN, Microsoft Store. Check, and when you're done looking at all that list that goes on and on and on, then I want you to type in Arcade Archives and see what comes up and peruse that list for a little bit. Then I want you to go over and erase that. Go ahead and highlight that field. Delete. And then I want you to type in Capcom Arcade Stadium. And I want you to see what comes up. And then when you're done looking at that, Then I want you to go erase that. Once again, delete. Type in Konami Anniversary Collection. And I would like to draw specific attention to the Contra collection, which is phenomenal. It's tough, kids. It's tough. So ACA is a NeoGeo arcade collection on PSN, on eShop. I've seen it called out specifically when we're talking about eShop, Nintendo, 100 classic NeoGeo games. Damn. That's just NeoGeo titles. Then you go over to the arcade archives. I don't even know how many results you're going to get from that, but there's a lot. I think the technical term, wrote it down here, is a bunches. Bunches is what I saw. Bunches. Crap load might have been another word. A lot of them. And then you got the specific companies, right? You got Capcom, Konami, very specific to what they had back in the day. And some of these collections are comprehensive and they have a lot of other stuff. You've got hey, what's going on? I gotta just real quick, gotta say hi to Black and White Sports, my brothers that have exploded. How the hell are you? Well, old friend, caught you live. Rhodes, how the hell are you? I gotta come on, man. We gotta talk some Mando. Well, I'm sorry, not Mando. Boba Fett ish. It's the Boba Fett ish show. Thank you so much for stopping by, Rhodes, brother. Love you, appreciate it. And Rhodes, you got to message me because we got I made you a promise a couple years ago. Top Gun 2, buddy. Talk to me. Okay, so back on this is something that I have really, I've, listen, like I said, if you own a modern console, you've seen these things, and this is an issue when we're talking about not just iiRcade, but Arcade 1Up also. Arcade 1Up is in a little bit different space. We're talking about downloadable titles, an e-store type situation. This stuff is already available from the major heavy hitters. Remember that North American install base of 38 million? It's already there. I don't know the numbers for iiRcade. I looked them up, can't find them. They're not 38 million. They have not sold 38 million consoles yet. Snowdub, my brother, how you doing? Yes, smash the like button. Gently, if you are on an expensive PC or if you're on a tablet, don't want to break the screen, maybe you want to just gently tap the like button, but it is important. Definitely do that. So this is a problem. And I have found myself, like I said, I downloaded the Contra collection, right? So if Contra shows up on iiRcade, I may not be as apt to go get that because I've already got it on PS4. Already got it. Play it on my big, 75-inch TV. Don't need it. It's a real thing. So how do you separate yourself? And listen, I'm not trying to be all negative, but I realize this is negative. I realize I have some people in this chat that are iiRcade fans, and I ain't trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not. This is not a dig in any way. I'm trying to paint an accurate picture for you, right? This is not an abstract. This is not Starry Night with Goku fighting the Death Star, which is amazing, but not reality. This is a guy who is interested in iiRcade, and I'm struggling to find a reason to make that purchase. And I just, you're going to throw an arcade on your Gen 2 cabinet. That's great. But we're talking about maybe a big price increase. Why? Because you added a marquee. The software is where we're going. I keep coming back. To the software because it matters. It absolutely matters. How do you think Nintendo has been able to last this long? It is not because of their amazing hardware. Their hardware is garbage. Pre-Wii, and in respect to the generation that they were in, right? 64 was great. I still have one. The 8-bit Nintendo was the OG, right? It sort of set a new standard. But come on, was GameCube competing with PS2? Not really. It couldn't even hold a candle to the Dreamcast, let alone the Xbox. This wasn't happening. They were never known for their horsepower. It was always that software, right? It was always those killer apps, those games, and some of the plugins, right? The paraphernalia, the things you could plug at the peripherals, not paraphernalia. That is a different word used for something different. Drugs, not good. But that was the thing that kept that company afloat and holding tight those IP, keeping Mario and Zelda right there close, feeding them the bottle, making sure they're in bed on time so they grow up big and strong and continue to make money for you 20, 30 years down the road. Mario didn't get to go to college. He is still in the factory pumping out games. But it is not all negative. It is not all, -1. You got a point. Arcade 1-Up's only for nostalgia and looks. That's one of their strong suits. Nostalgia, I think, applies to everything we're discussing tonight. Every console, every arcade, anything, whether it's an arcade emulated title, downloadable from any one of these e-stores, or if you're talking about iiRcade. Anything arcade, physical or software, is nostalgia. But you hit it on the head when it comes to the looks. Arcade 1-Up can recreate that look, and that is distinctive. That's something different that iiRcade hasn't committed to. They want to be more of an all-in-one solution. Good, solid platform, and the games is what they really, that's really what they're hanging their hat on. Whether they admit it or not, the games is really where it's at. Good, solid platform, plenty of power, great sound. For the most part, I've heard of some issues, but Arcade 1-Up also has issues. Great monitor, okay? Get that tempered glass, kids. It makes a difference because that is available from their website. But, it's, that's where it's at. So it's not all doom and gloom. I'm not Captain Negative. I'm only Lieutenant Negative. I'm trying to get promoted, but your clicks will help. I'm here about solutions. So what are we going to do? What are the solutions? Is there anything that can be done? What can be done? I got a few ideas. So there's some things you can do in preparation for the future. There are some things you can do right now. So let's talk about what the future can hold. Let's talk about what we can do right now to build a better tomorrow. There's no more political statement than that right there, right? Working hand in hand to build a better tomorrow, kind of like RoboCop. So I think that the first thing they could do right now is begin to, and these things could be in the works already. If they are, great, you're on the right track. But I think what they need to do is form an exclusive partnership to develop original games, whether that's .mu, whether that's whoever, right? Whoever, don't know, have no idea. But work with a company to develop maybe it's one game. Maybe it's, here's what you do. It's a series of games. Plan a trilogy, not like Disney, an actual trilogy with the beginning, a middle, and an end. And plan a trilogy of games and really start with the first game and really dig in. This is our game. This is what's going to kick off our trilogy and improve that product for episode 2, then episode 3, you round it off. Very limited, very simple. It's got a start date and a finish date, and there you go. And it can be something. Maybe they give us input. Well, maybe not me because I don't own an iiRcade, but all you iiRcadians, maybe you get a little bit of input. Special members only stream. We talk about it. So I think that's what they do now. They begin to pursue that. Try to find some studio they can partner with. Make something, right? Specifically iiRcade. Nobody else is going to have this. This is just us. That's going to generate a demand for the cabinet if the game is good. It's also something they could market to. How about this? How about they're selling their games to the eShop or PSN or Microsoft? What about that, huh? Not too shabby, huh? But you got to start somewhere. You got to build that. These things aren't acquired, they're built. You're not gonna be able to they don't have the cash to go buy a studio, right? Just buy some big studio, buy them up, but they can build something. Start simple. It doesn't have to be something on the same level as Streets of Rage 4. Start simple, solid gameplay. Listen to your fans, build something that they're interested in, and then go from there. Just saying. Hobby Hand says Frozen Stream. I hope not. Me? Nah. I'm just talking slow because I'm from Texas. Step 2. Suggestion 2. Offer all cross-platform games at a discount. So we're talking about, listen, if they see a game come up and it is over on PlayStation, if it's over on the eShop, if it's available anywhere else, offer a discount. Right? You can do that right now. It's going to cost you something. Maybe you sell those games at cost. You don't make squat. It's just an even exchange, but you set yourself apart. Hey, yeah, you can go over there and you can download Mayhem Brawlers on PlayStation. Sure, and it's going to cost you whatever. Or you can come over here and you'll save $5. You buy our product, boom, you're saving money. 5%, 10%, whatever it is. So that's where you start. And that's something that can be done right now. There's a cost associated with it, but that's something you can do right now. Here's another thing you can do either right now or when your current inventory of cabinets is gone. I don't care when you do it. Right now, announce that the new cabinet will be the same price as the current model. If anybody in here is an Apple fan or an Android fan for whatever, and if you watch their live streams or live events, I'm thinking of Apple specifically, when Apple would come out and they would talk about the whatever, right? Whatever, the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod, whatever. When the next generation was $100, $200 more, there was kind of some moans and groans in the crowd. When they said that the new iPhone, whatever, was going to be the same price as the current iPhone, people lost their minds. Yay! Now think about what he did. It's Tim Cook now, but it was Steve Jobs. Think about what he did. They didn't do anything. They said, we're keeping the price the same, and people losing their minds. It's not like the Sony PS1 bombshell, $299, and then dropped the mic and left. This was, we're going to sell it to you at the same price, and people are losing their minds. Helping people manage expectations. Listen, I don't know what they're doing to this machine. It could be overkill. I mean, if you're just adding a marquee, I've heard about upgraded speakers. I don't think you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Speakers are fine. We wanted a marquee. You're giving us a marquee. I roll with that. Same price. Let everybody know right now. Boom. No more market speculation. No more concern. No more stock market craziness. People are buying, selling. Stabilize the market and let everybody know right now. Hey, boom. Same price. You might want to do it while you have, when the current inventory of first-gen cabinets are gone. But I think either way, what you're going to have to do is liquidate what's left of your first-gen cabinets. So that means that means right now, I think that your Mayhem Brawler limited edition is a mistake. I don't think you do anything new with that first-gen cabinet. I think it is what it is. As the stuff sells out, it sells out. And then when you're down to the last few, you either slice those prices dramatically, or you just make them the black version. You're just all black. Just no decals. Here you go. And then it's gone. It's gone. But let everybody know right off the bat, relax. It's okay. It's going to be the same price. Let me get rid of this bot real quick. I apologize. Block that user. There we go. Go back to your home country. The virus, not the person. So that's what you can do right now. Because right now I'm thinking, listen, the poll question I asked that for a reason. Look at that. $900 for a marquee? And they're going to say, but the speakers. You're going to say, dude, the marquee? A marquee is going to cost me $200? I know it's a design change, but you're going to have to, I'm sorry, iiRcade, you're going to have to eat that cost. You're going to have to eat that cost. But stabilize the market. Let everybody know it's the same price. Don't worry. It's okay. And you rock on. You weather the storm, right? We're building a future. We're building a better tomorrow, hand to hand, right? Yeah. Vote iiRcade. That's what you do. Here's the next thing you do. I've actually talked about this for a while. I'm not the first person to say this. A lot of people have said this. Many people have wanted this from many different companies, including maybe even, A1Up. Develop unique control panels. Right now, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat on the replay, from what I understand, inside the control panel, mounted to the bottom of the control panel, maybe, is everything. It's the PCB, it's everything, right? So there's no separation like on an A1Up. We have the PCB mounted on the back of the monitor and the control panel separate. So there may be some engineering that has to be done there. You may have to separate and break out that PCB, system on a chip, whatever you got going on there with your magical space powers, okay, iiRcade, with your mystical whatever, all right, we're more powerful. We get it. Whatever you're doing, you might have to make some slight changes. That's some more cost you're going to have to eat. But I'm not saying re-engineer the entire freaking cabinet. I'm not saying re-engineer the PCB itself. I'm saying extend the wires to the buttons. Just move the physical location back. Because what that's going to do for you, and if you can create kind of an encoder plug-and-play option like we have with these A1Ups, is that what you have now is the ability to, listen, you have the console that you can download any game to. PlayStation. I'm pointing to consoles. They're not even there. I'm just doing it for dramatic effect. Xbox, Nintendo Switch, they're not just the consoles themselves or just the software, but they have unique control schemes as well. You can buy, like me, moron, a $300 driving steering wheel. Make sure my wife didn't hear me say it. $100 steering wheel. It was $300. Very expensive. You could buy a $300 steering wheel and you can plug that into your PlayStation. And now I'm taking my racing games to the next level. Yes, I could play them with my DualShock, but damn, the steering wheel is awesome. Add that functionality to the iiRcades. Another way to distinguish yourself from an arcade one-up. Listen, if you're limited on space, what better way to say, yeah, you could buy 4 or 5 or 10 or 12 arcade one-ups, or come over here, get you an iiRcade. You want a driving cabinet? Okay, just buy the control panel. You want a light gun game? Sure, just buy the control panel. You want a flight stick game? Just buy the control panel. And what they can offer is a little bookshelf with like 3 little shelves on it. And you can buy all the freaking control panels. And if you want to play your driving, they have a few driving games on there now. You can play with the joystick. That's fine. Your stand walk control is great. Or we can unplug this, couple screws. Boom. Now I got my driving wheel in here. Come on. And also what that does, that will absolutely draw developers to your product, because now their software can shine. Their games can really shine. Their driving game is not just going to be another driving game with a stick and a couple buttons. It's going to be a different experience that you can offer to them. And as those relationships with developers begin to grow, now they know what you have, what you bring to the table. They can offer new features. We've seen this with consoles forever, talking about, exclusive content, makes, the sticker on the box of the game says, makes use of fill in the blank, the Rumble Pack, whatever, Not all games did, but this one does. It's there, play it on Xbox, play it on Nintendo, whatever. Same thing, same exact thing. Build out that experience, make it more immersive, make it more custom, but not require a user to buy another machine. And one of the last ones I would make it. This is a suggestion. You could do that right now. This right now, if you wanted. And I really want to know your feedback on this one. Offer a service that gives users access to your entire library for a monthly fee instead of making me buy every single game individually. Still leave that as an option. I'm thinking like Apple's model. I keep going to Apple, but $1 trillion company. Maybe we look at them for a little bit of advice when it comes to success. You can still go to iTunes and buy a song. You can buy songs individually all day long. That's good when you travel and you're overseas and you don't have access to their service, their Apple Music service, because that's the other option you can buy. You can have the Apple Music service and you can listen to whatever. You can stream whatever. Spotify, plug in whatever service here, right? You pay a monthly fee, you have access to everything. This has been going on for a very long time. Netflix, you name it. Pay the monthly fee, have access to their entire library. You lock in users, you lock in an income that's coming in constantly, right? Instead of individual purchases here and there. And you get people to play games that wouldn't normally play. I have played games because I've had whatever service, whether it's Steam, whatever it's PlayStation Now. I played games I wouldn't normally play because I didn't want to have to buy them. But I've got the service. I have the opportunity now. So iiRcade, develop a service where you give people the option to pay a monthly fee, whether it locks them in for 6 months or a year, and they have access to your entire library. Whatever that price point is, whatever that dollar amount is, you let me know. But I think there you go. I think that's what you can do. Those are my 5 suggestions to sort of fix things and get you going in the right direction from a guy who doesn't do this for a living. So take that, my advice, and $5 and go to Starbucks and get you a cup of coffee. Well, it depends on what you get. You may have change left over. I'm not saying my advice is worth $1, but the expression is, my advice is worthless. This is my suggestions. This is my point of view. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. Let me know what you think in the comments, in the chat. Am I way off base? Do you think I'm just hating on iiRcade? Do I have any points at all? Am I wearing a blue shirt? Let me know. And I got one of those iiRcadians right here. Nope, 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 nope. That's 4 nopes. I think he means yes. No subscription service. Go buy and add games if you want that. What's wrong with the option? Nobody's saying either or. This is an and function, right? It's not this or that. It's this and that. You can have both. What's wrong with that? Ah, very good. Very good. You know what? Damn it. You're all over it. No super chat required for this one. Wolverine says hi.
Perfect! Hyper combo KO! Game's over. Time to call it quits.
Nasty Nom, you are a bad mofo. Or bad M-O-M. Nasty Nom? I don't know what that is. It mom? Is this a mom? Are you a mom? Don't answer that. I don't even think I want to know. Yes, the shirt is navy. The shirt is navy. Tammy G says the control deck swap thing is an amazing idea. It's an idea. There's some costs there, but I think it's a way to. I'm really thinking about the people with limited space. I have the ability to have an entire, basement that I can just deck out. Not everybody has that. Not everybody even has a spare bedroom that they can just allocate for an arcade. So what do? Are they stuck picking 1 or 2 arcade 1-ups? Or do we provide them another option? Or does iiRcade give them the option? What do? I don't know what the future holds for iiRcade. I don't think it's pretty. And I'm not trying to hate. But I'm looking at what you're doing, and I'm looking at the breadcrumbs you're giving me. I don't see a lot of promise. I think you need to take a few steps in a different direction to right the ship and to set yourself apart. Because I think what iiRcade has is definitely unique. Ad Games to some extent. Ad Games definitely has some of the other form factors down. Their pinball machine is awesome. It's tough to nobody can really debate that. But there's something about iiRcade that makes me think they are close. They're close. I'm talking about freaking close. Close to really having something. You've got a passionate owner. You've got a passionate fan base. I see you iiRcadians out there with your barbs, but you're passionate about what you got, and you want to see it succeed too. I'll tell you what I want. I want it to succeed. I want At Games to succeed because I think what it does is competition breeds success, and the ultimate winner is us, the consumer. We get the better product. I want everybody feeling the heat from everybody else. I want iiRcade to be worried about Arcade 1-Up. I want Arcade 1-Up to be concerned about At Games. I want all 3 of them to be concerned why there's not a company that doesn't start with A. What is that? Give me a B or an F. Fox something. Work Fox into the name of the new company. But why are they A's, all of them? AAA title. I see. It's all 3 working together. That's the Illuminati right there. That's the Illuminati. But no, I think they're really close. I think they're really close, and they could really have something there. But there's not enough there to get me to make the jump. Right now, I'm going to go grab a Switch. I'm going to go grab an OLED, and I'm going to load that bad boy up with old arcade games. I'm going to take it on the road. I would like to be more torn about my decision. I'd love to say, damn, oh man, that's $350 I could put towards that arcade, that iiRcade, the new one, the Dead Cells with the marquee. I got to have it. I don't even know how much it costs. I don't know how much money to set aside. Is it $1,000? Is it $900? I don't know. You don't know either. That's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm not saying there's another company that's doing it better. Okay. Arcade 1-Up likes to string us along too with a little carrot, they don't do much better, but that's my 2 cents. Done with iiRcade for now, but I'm watching you. And I hope you do well. Hobby Hands with a $10 super chat. I have a smaller dedicated room. I have my favorite machines, 3/4, and my secondary likes as barcades, and one multicade for the rest. That's an interesting take on the barcades / countercades. I think I made that point today on Kong's stream, where those that aren't super into a game, let's say NBA Jam, will not get the full size. They'll get the bar top because they like it. They're not that into it, but they want it in their collection, and that's a great way. You're kind of backing up my my statement there. I like that. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support, and appreciate the $10. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really do appreciate it. What am I going to hit you with? You know what? Okay, listen. You're going to have to get a sweater or a coat, maybe a navy shirt, because it's going to get a little bit chilly.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Fatality indeed. Michael Light, not Michael Heavy, not Michael Regular. Michael Light. He's low-cal. Keeps you looking good. 19K Box, always keeping things positive and business savvy, making plenty of solid points. And even though I can't reveal anything, appreciate the feedback as always. I appreciate you being in this Arcade 1Up channel, Arcade 1Up chat. But listen, Mike, I'm serious. I want you to succeed, because if you succeed, we win. We win. So take it all with a grain of salt. Like I said, I'm a guy that doesn't do this for a living. I don't. But no. Hope you guys do well. I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for you. Make Arcade 1Up sweat, Mike. Make them sweat, brother. Thanks for stopping by. So we got a rift, guys. We got a rift in the space-time continuum. I'm stalling while I pull up another thing. Let's remove that for a second. So, oh god, moving back to Arcade 1Up, the one thing that they did reveal a couple weeks ago, there's this tall guy that was like, "Hey, here's the thing." I think his name is Shaq something. I don't know. I think he played basketball or football. Who knows? Who knows? He revealed this cabinet, this XL cabinet, and we were like, "Wow, that's weird." It's exactly what we had before. And it reminded me of a paradox, a time paradox, a serious paradox, where the same matter cannot occupy the same space. You ever seen Time Cap? That was kind of the thing, right? That was the hook of the movie. Well, the hook of the movie, I guess, was time travel. But one of those rules, like gremlins, you can't get the gremlin, you can't feed them after midnight, you can't get water on them, nonsensical garbage, malarkey. But the thing in that movie was that you couldn't like travel back in time, and you couldn't touch the older you, for some reason, the same matter, same space. And when it happened, it wasn't good. At the end, the bad guy was merged with the other version of himself, younger version of himself, and it was horrible. This is sort of a couple pictures of what it did. It didn't end well. Didn't end well for him. So what we have here is the same damn thing, the non-sci-fi version. Doubt that if you make these two touch each other, they will join and turn into a puddle of blood and muscle. But it's possible. I'm not going to buy both of them to make that happen, but if I see them in a store together, I'll do it. I'll report back. Follow me on Instagram. I'll let you know if that happens. It'd be weird if it would. So yeah, it's a weird thing. So I've given this some thought. I wasn't super passionate either way when this first came out, first dropped. We talked about this last week on the stream. Damn. Okay, so the cabinet's only slightly different. Shaq came out and said, "Listen, I wanted to make this. I like your stuff. I like your cabinets." He had an original cabinet back in the day. This is all in that ESPN document, or I'm sorry, interview that he participated in. I'm pouring a little bit more. I'm cheating tonight. Hope you don't mind. Justin Console Kits wasn't here. I got to pull a double shift. I'm not saying it's going to go 2 hours, but I'm going a little longer. So I added a little bourbon to the glass. I hope you don't mind. We're going to continue on. But in that ESPN interview, talking about how, listen, I actually had the real thing. I've bought a couple of your arcades before. I like it. I like what you're doing. I want something bigger. I want something for me. I want it to be, but I want it to be, affordable. And Arcade 1Up stepped up to the plate, and they did that by making something more expensive. So it is only $50 more. Let's just try to. Okay, so rumored to only be $50 more. $599 is what was quoted in the ESPN article. I've heard from others that maybe John D said $699 is more realistic. We don't know yet. It's not posted, but there you go. The control panels. Listen, I was watching. If you watch the Super Game Room dudes live stream, I was on there. I was looking, and I said foolishly at the time, that control panel looks like it's the same size as the 3/4. And others on the panel said, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. And to be honest, it was tough to tell. It really was tough to tell. And then B was on location. We had a man on location saying, it's a little bit bigger. But the man didn't have a tape measure. He didn't know. He couldn't verify. Couldn't possibly know. And then it showed up on the website with no width dimension. But then go back, look at the videos, go to Kong's channel, watch those videos over and over again. I'm shilling for my buddy to try to get him more views. He doesn't need my help, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If you watch those videos, you can tell. Listen, it's free. It's the same. The control panel is the same. I mean, maybe it's slightly bigger, but I'm telling you, I'm 100% wrong. But damn it, if it's an inch wider, I would probably be surprised. I don't think it's more than an inch wider. Maybe 2 inches. Maybe. It doesn't. It looks like it's the same damn size, guys. I don't know what's going on here. So let's just sort of step back for a second. Think about this. We have this price structure here. Countercade $229. Right now, you can buy. Right now, not yesterday. Right now, you can buy this combo with the stool for $549. I've seen it on sale currently as of today for $449. I don't know if that's with the stool, without the stool, but $449 right now. This is not a 3/4 scale cab that is gone. It's still with us. Still with us. Not in spirit, but in flesh. It's there. You can see it, touch it. So you got that. You got this new one coming out, and the control panel is the same size. It's obviously taller. The marquee looks like it's the actual size of a marquee. The monitor is not as big as the original 21-inch monitors, 21-ish. Do you remember the alien from Alien 4? I mean, like the alien abomination, the hybrid, the weird screwed up thing that ate the queen's face, tore it freaking right off. That weird. This is what this is. You got a control panel that's 3/4 scale. You got a marquee that's 1:1. And you got a freaking a monitor that's 7/8 scale, 5. I don't even know how this works out, mathematically speaking. We might have to go to the metric system. I don't even know what is 30 mil. I don't know. Fractions are failing. All right. The economy is disaster. I don't know what's going on. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. So the more that I think about this, I just don't get this. The Pro at least made some sense to me. Okay. Because the Pro, you're talking about maxed out, right? This is a little bit bigger monitor, but you're talking about Weapon X. I'm not drunk yet, but there's still hope, right? Still hope for sure. The Pro made some sense to me. It was a little bit bigger, but you were maxed out. You had the Sanwa, you had everything, right? The best of the best. And the 2-player form factor made a little more sense when we saw the 4-player. And I thought about the 4-player Pro and what that would look like in my brain, my head canon. It didn't look like this. It looked a lot bigger. It really did. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. They're trying to stay within that 4-foot dimension. I get that. But, my 6-player X-Men that I made, my control panel, that was 4 foot. That was 48 inches. Go back and watch the video again and again. Just put it on a loop. I need the views. but it was right at 4 feet. So you could definitely take this upwards of 40 inches, go much wider, and still have a noticeable difference. A much, much bigger control panel. I'm just not seeing it here. So the dimensions are kind of, it's throwing me off, guys. And when you look at this and really go to their website and look at it and think about it, really think about it, I'm not getting this. And I just don't think that I don't think you should be doing this. Let me just throw it out there. You either continue your 3/4 scale and omit the XL, or you get rid of the 3/4 and you do something a little bit different with this XL. You take this XL as it sits, stretch out that control panel. If the control panel has to be 2 pieces, you do what you got to do, but make it proportional to the rest of the cabinet, because right now it doesn't make a lot of sense. The 2-player you can get away with completely. The 4-player just looks weird. I don't like it. So this is what you do. I'm talking about the XL line totally, completely, 100%. I think what you got to do is you got to go Pro only. Everything in this size is Pro. Best controls, all that. This weird XL variant, I don't like where it fits within this whole structure. Last week we talked about the lineup, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Go Pro with this NBA Jam cab. Or if you want to have this XL, then you got to get rid of the 3/4 scale, because it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's weird. It's not right. It is an abomination. It's an abomination. It's wrong. And I just don't get it. And now I'm going to stall while I bring up the next slide. Let me, boom, kill it. That was a preview. I'm not there yet. So let me know what you think about this. I just, the more I think about it, it just really doesn't make any sense to me to have the 3/4 scale with the exact same games list and exact same features side by side with an XL machine that seems to me like a half measure instead of going all the way Pro. It makes more sense to have an XL machine Pro with a proper 4-player control panel, wide, to match the scale of the rest of the machine. That makes a little more sense to me than what they're kind of doing now, which it just feels sort of not half-ass, but half-ass. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I think you got to make a decision and commit, damn it. Commit. Quit trying to have your cake and your bacon and eat it too. It's bacon or cake. It's got to be one or the other. NeoGeo, I love you. I love you, NeoGeo. But I don't know if you and iiRcade 1Up can play nice together. I brought this slide up before. I want to talk about this again. This is legit. So we've got ACA, NeoGeo, and then all the other arcade stuff. There's a huge effort on the side of the consoles to push these old arcade machine software, not the machines, the software itself, to get that out to the consumer in a way that iiRcade 1Up, iiRcade, Ad Games, no one else can compete because of the install base. And if you're willing to be satisfied with just a controller instead of a badass fight stick the way God intended, to have a marquee above your head, to have speakers blasting in your face, to be standing upright, if you don't want that and you'll be happy with this, well, then there you go. There's a lot of options for you. But I don't like it. I don't like it. And right now we have an option for about $550. The MVSX, 50 games for $550. Pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. Or like I said, you can jump back over to Nintendo or PSN and you can play 100 games. I put 100 games on the Switch because that was the only, when you do a search on PSN, it doesn't tell you the total number of search, searches. So search results. So I couldn't give you a good number. So I went with 100 for Switch. That's just a start. So that exists right now. What if iiRcade 1Up brings something from NeoGeo to us? What the hell would that look like, knowing this is what we have now? Listen, we can't pretend that the MVSX didn't happen. Let's say in the not too distant future, it's gone. Unico loses the rights. It's free and open. Who wants NeoGeo now? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? I can dig it. I love NeoGeo. I want me some NeoGeo. I got to be honest with you, though. The MVSX, I know it's silly. But if they would have done one thing for me, if they would have given me the true 4-button layout, I probably would have got it. No, I would have got it. If I would have gotten that 4-button layout, once again, the way God intended, or the way NeoGeo intended, I would have gotten it. Because I would also peel that little coin decal sticker off the bottom of the bar top. I'd peel that off. That's stupid. But I'd be happy with that. Even though it's just a bar top on a riser and everybody knows I hate that, I would probably get it because I love NeoGeo. NeoGeo is awesome. 50 games for $550. You can't beat that. But let's say it's gone tomorrow. The next day, we can't just pretend like it didn't exist, like it was gone. We're all going to, as soon as RK1UP announces NeoGeo, whatever, fill in the blank, we're going to remember 50 games for $550. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because you're going to look at the price of whatever RK1UP spits out, and you're going to remember, hey, listen, if it's above 500 and it doesn't have 50 games, we're all going to go cruise Facebook Marketplace. Because, damn, that's messed up. So we can't pretend like the MVSX didn't happen. And we also can't ignore the fact that the ACA is still out there. 100 games at your fingertips if you own a console. If you don't mind just dealing with the controller, maybe you go buy a fight stick and you're good. So this is the reality. This is the world in which we live in. NeoGeo has been pimping itself out for years. It's been just on the street corner. Whatever. Come get you some NeoGeo. Hate to be that blunt, but that's just the way it is. So what do you do if your arcade 1UP? Okay, it's open. The physical arcade license is open. What do we do? What do we do, arcade 1UP? What do we do? What we do, the first thing we do is we read this super chat from BCB147 for $5. Whatever arcade 1UP would do with NeoGeo, it would have to look better than this red mailbox. The MVSX is a crap-looking cabinet. Would never buy it. Not what I said. What BCB said, and I think a lot of people probably agree with you because, yeah, I mean it's a bar top on a riser. Not the biggest fan of that. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I do appreciate it. What am I going to give you? It's not what I'm going to give you. Unfortunately, it's what Gohan's going to give you. Hold on. Wait. I already played that one. I can't play that one for you again. That's not right. You deserve different. You deserve the very best. But unfortunately, what that means is I got to send you to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Come on, just walk that off. You'll be fine. Just pick yourself up by bootstraps. You'll be fine. Okay, so these things happen. These things exist. And most likely, if RK1UP gets the NeoGeo arcade license, ACA will still exist. So what do we do? What are we talking? I'm talking about going pro. First thing you got to do is you got to make it worth my wild, his wild, her wild, their wild. Everybody's wild because everybody's wild has to be satisfied in this weird scenario. You got to go pro. You got to go pro with at least 50 games. Okay, so we're talking about a pro cabinet. Oh boy. So pro cabinets, we don't know. It's all a rooster illusion, right? It's all mystical, gorillas in the mist. Something that's a documentary about gorillas. Not really relevant here. We don't know what the price is going to be for a pro model. I'm going to go ahead and speculate like I did in my other video. That's $799. Knock on wood, maybe. So $800 is what we're talking for a Pro Series with the same 50 games list you could get before. I don't know if that's going to push me over the edge. It's going to push you over the edge. Maybe. Pro Series is really cool. The proper 4-button layout. That beautiful red on the side. I know what you like. Blue blue, red, white. Big marquee, We're talking about XL. So beautiful controls, Sanwa, HAP, whatever. The best that money can buy for $800. Okay, that's not bad. You have a price increase over the MVSX. Got to make sure I get all the acronyms correct. You have that. You have a price difference, but you have an improved experience over that. Better design, bigger screen, better controls. Okay, we have something we can sell. Got another option, Johnny. I'm talking 3/4. Let's go back to 3/4, but let's go legacy. Let's go legacy with specific collections. Let's go legacy with Wi-Fi, specific collections for $399. Now we're talking $400. I can get all my Samurai Showdowns, my Metal Gear Solid. Once again, I'm pointing to things that aren't there. Metal Solid, Metal Slug over here, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, World Heroes, King of Monsters. The list goes on and on. Sen Goku, I think it's S-E-N Goku. Yeah, the Sen Goku series as a side-scrolling beat 'em up is extremely underrated. There is no room for that garbage here. Actually, that's a great hack. But you can't talk. Come on, Mikey. We talked about this before the stream. You can't say that. Separate stream. 3/4 scale legacy, $400. Let's return to that $399 promised land. Come on. I mean, I know we went a little bit above. We went $449. Now we're talking about legacy cabinets with Wi-Fi. Oh, hell, what's going to happen now? $500? No. Slow down. Know your role. $399. It's nice. Everybody loves $399. It's like a warm blanket. It's like an electric blanket on a cold winter day with a cup of coffee or cocoa or bourbon. It's where we all want to be. We all want to be. Mike of all trades. Sen Goku. We watched Demon Slayer. We watched not Ren Goku, Sen Goku. If you've got a computation device or a smartphone, type it in. It's pretty fun, dude. It's kind of wild. It's just some weird stuff going on. I played it. Actually, first time I played it was on a Pandora's box. Full JAMA connected, for real. Wired it up legit. But yeah, Sen Goku was pretty fun. So, legacy, 3/4 scale, collections. That's an option too. What do you think? Let me know. So we're going to go pro, okay, for $800, and you're going to get San Juan. You're going to get 50 games. Pro 19-inch monitor. Okay, that's one. 2 is going to be that legacy model. Yeah, throw in the Wi-Fi. It's fine. Throw in the Wi-Fi, but keep it at $399. Wi-Fi is not that. Come on, it's not that crazy. You're putting them in everything now. Come on, it's fine. It's fine. You're buying them in bulk. It's fine. $399. But then I don't get all my NeoGeo, but I get my collections. If I love my Samurai Showdown, what is there? 7 games in Samurai Showdown? Come on, it's a lot. It's a big games list. You're talking about Metal Slug. Is there 894 games in the Metal Slug collection? Yes, there is. Maybe 900. I don't know. But you get all those in one collection. Not a bad collection. Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. Dear Lord, there's 947 of those games. They're out there. Come on, think about it. So that could be cool. A low buck model, but it lets you get specific. Damn, I'd probably get 3 of those. Let's hope they go pro. But what about this? This is me just being stupid, throwing it out there. It's something else a little bit different. But I think the thing that, if you're familiar with the arcade specifically, mechanically, how it was structured and how that arcade eventually made it home, was the fact that these games were on cartridges, and your NeoGeo machines in your grocery stores, in your arcades, and your pizza parlors could have 2 slots or 4 slots or 6 slots, and you could slot these games in. What that meant for the arcade owner is that they bought one cabinet, but then they could buy the games, and they could just slot these games in. That was something fairly unique to, hold on, one more. Let me just get rid of that, block that user. I'm going to have to do something about this. This is ridiculous. But you could slot different games in. So if you wanted to change up the experience for the patrons of your establishment, of your pizza parlor, whatever, you didn't have to buy another arcade machine. As long as the arcade machine was in decent shape, you just buy another game, another cartridge. No big deal. Maybe they don't like, I don't know, I'm thinking of a random NeoGeo sports game. Maybe they don't like that. Maybe they want that. Oh, the new Samurai Showdown just came out. Let's get that. Samurai Showdown 4. Got to have it. Boom, right there. Metal Slug 87 just came out. Not 1987. The 87th game in the series just came out. Boom, put that in. There you go. That was unique to NeoGeo. Unique to the cabinet physical design specifically. What if we mimic that? I'm not saying RK1 needs to go make cartridges. What if we have a swappable game feature? We have the internet. It's this thing. It spins around our heads and information falls down. They use that for updates all the time. What if we had the swappable feature? It mimicked that same style, but it was sort of, you had an a la carte menu to choose from. How would this work out 100%? I don't know that I've worked it out myself, but think about this for a second. Just think about this for a second. What if we have a NeoGeo cabinet from Arcade 1Up? We have the marquee just like the T2 marquee. Maybe there's a little hatch on the side. You could easily swap out the marquees. You see where I'm going, don't you? You can swap out those marquees easily. Maybe there's just the top, right? My expertly engineered X-Men 6 player, 2 screws on the top. You can remove the top of the marquee and you can take it out. You can swap out the film. Maybe you have that as part of the physical makeup of the cabinet. Everything else is software that's downloadable. What if you have a virtual slots? Okay. I don't think they have I don't think that RK1Up has the infrastructure quite yet to stream a game. I don't think it's there yet. Nor do I think it should be. I don't think that's where their niche is. But what if you had slots, virtual slots, whatever it is? Let's say it's an arcade machine that has 6 slots or 4, whatever. Here's your NeoGeo machine. Here's your 4 slots, whatever. You download 4 games at a time, 6 games at a time, whatever. You got to download them. You got to wait. But they're on your machine. They're local, and you play them. And when you're done, you grab some other ones. Is there a fee involved? Maybe. I don't know, depending on the price of the cabinet. I don't know if right now I'm talking about a 3/4 scale or a Pro. Maybe I'm talking 3/4 scale. Maybe not a Legacy. Maybe somewhere in the middle. Maybe I'm contradicting myself from the other part of my stream. Don't know really. But before I go too far, I got to read my man Super Chat. CT Jason, my brother, how the hell are you? With the raspiest and sexiest of voices. Each brand has their flaws, but it's good to have each one. Helps complete the home arcade experience. Absolutely. They do. They have their pluses and minuses. CT Jason, just like the arcade machines back in the day. Some of them were big and gaudy, and they just took up a country, an acre, a country mile. But some of them were tight and small, but they had their different quirks. So it's the personality, right? It's the differences, not just in styles, but in quirks that makes the whole arcade experience unique. You are keeping it 100. And man, I got to give you something special for that. You know what? Here you go.
Can't you do any better?
Thank you so much again for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate it. And so I think that there's a couple. So there's 3 ways that we could kind of see a NeoGeo variant. The $1,000 option is still on the table. I'm thinking if it's a Pro, and we're talking about more than 50 games, I could see that being $1,000 option. But that's just my knee jerk. But I think that maybe $1,000 won't happen yet. I think the $1,000 is going to happen, but it's not going to be. The $1,000 is not going to happen with a NeoGeo cabinet. I think the $1,000 price tag we will finally see on an arcade that is something we've been dying to have. Will that be Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Will that be Afterburner with some kind of a crazy control scheme? I tend to think that that's the way that it would happen. I'm not exactly sure. I think it would probably happen within a sort of pro form factor. But I think realistically, we get the 3 options, right? And let me know. These are the 3. One more time, so you can vote on this in the live stream. If you're watching this on replay, let me hit you with my 3 options one more time. I think if they go Pro, Sanwa, big marquee, like the KI Pro series we've seen, 50 games for $7.99. Option 1. Option 2 is 3/4 scale Legacy. $3.99, $400 cabinet. Okay. Wi-Fi or not, don't really care. Whatever it takes to keep us at 400, right? But then we have our specific collections. We have our Samurai Showdown, Metal Slug, Fatal Fury, whatever, right? It's option 2. Option 3 is that unique concept that I talked about, and maybe this is our $1,000 option. I don't know. $1,000, but there's absolutely no fees associated with it. $1,000 Pro Cab, and it's a downloadable slot system. You have 4 to 6 slots, whatever that number is, and you have to physically download the games. They sit in a slot, and they even sell different marquees, or they sell portions of the marquees, so you could put the film in based on your 4 top games. That's another product Arcade1Up could sell. Instead of the giant joystick, you could sell us marquees specific for NeoGeo. There's a whole revenue stream that could be attached to that. A customizability, I think is a word. Yeah, customizability, where we can make this, we could fit this to whatever mold we want, but still working within a framework that Arcade1Up could keep within one publisher, and it makes sense. It makes sense for that publisher, for their world, and it mimics what we saw in the arcades. This is not something outlandish. This is exactly what NeoGeo intended. The same sort of design. This would set this apart from Capcom. Set you apart from Killer Instinct, from everything else, from Mortal Kombat, all Midway. All these are game publishers out there. It's something NeoGeo did that was different. And if we're talking about preserving the companies themselves, not just the software that they produced, but some of their business practices, or more specifically, the way they delivered the games to us, the cartridge slot system was, undeniably unique to NeoGeo. And I think that's a way that we can get there. Absolutely. Oh, would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Got to wrap it up. I got a couple things for you, not just the poll, so hang out just for a second. And the poll says, and I quote, jumping on over here. Okay, so for those, and just to reiterate what the poll was, for those that do not own an iiRcade, would you buy the next gen cab for $899? 86%, with 167 votes, 86% said no. Nah, I think I'm going to pass. I think I'm going to go ahead and just skip it. Yeah. So there you go. Market research done for you, iiRcade. Take that and make of it what you will. I have one more bad guy to destroy here in my chat. Where's he at? There he is. Go back to Mother Russia. Another thing I want to drop on you real quick before we go. Don't take off just yet. Do me a favor. No, don't do me a favor. Do you a favor. I'm seeing grown-ass men in the chat. I'm seeing grown-ass men on Twitter. I'm seeing grown-ass men everywhere else talking about toys like they're the end of the world. Like they actually matter. Let me tell you something. Let me go ahead and break all your hearts real quick. Like, the Arcade1Up is a toy. The full-scale arcade you played with in the 80s and 90s that you found and bought from somebody and brought home with the 3/4 freaking MDF and that CRT monitor in it is a toy. They're all toys. All of them. And the more we try to destroy each other over silly labels is just a total waste of time. And it's a way that we divide each other when we should be united talking about what we love. So, I want you to do yourself a favor. I want you to talk to that person on Twitter and in the comment section like they're standing right next to you. Because I've found that I'm a lot less bold when the guy's standing right in front of me and could knock my freaking head off. So do yourself that favor. And I say do yourself that favor because you can't hurt me in this comment section. I love all of you, but you can't hurt my feelings. You can't break my heart. You can't hurt me. You can't touch me. You can talk about my mama. You can talk about my hair. Somebody from the latest comment was, could I wear a tighter shirt? The answer is no. That's the smallest one I could find. I mean, it's extra small women's. It's the tightest shirt I could find. But you can't hurt me in this comment section. But you can hurt yourself. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you think I'm just preaching, it's fine, whatever. You're hurting yourself whenever you act that way. You're hurting yourself when you say those things. So how about you look at the guy, the person, the girl, the whatever, on the other side of the computer, on the other side of the planet, on the other side of the world, and you type to them like they're sitting next to you at a bar, and maybe you buy them a drink instead of talking schmack. How about that? How about you buy them a beer and you talk about what you love and you talk about what they love and you talk about your differences and you have fun with it? Because you're going to build bridges instead of burning them down. That's what you're going to do. Okay? All right. You're going to be a better person. You're going to be a better person for them. You're going to maybe uplift them instead of knock them down. Okay? Okay? So how about we practice a little bit of maturity? How about let's be better people for our kids, for our nieces, for our nephews, for our grandkids, for people that pass by. And maybe we put it in perspective because that's a toy. That's a toy. These PSPs are toys. This computer's a toy, but you're not. And I think you deserve a little respect. And I do too. So why don't we treat each other with a little bit of respect? Continue to give each other shit. Don't get me wrong. But come on. At the end of the day, you are my brother or sister in the human race. Remember that, please. Please. The internet's a nasty place. And the only thing that's going to clean it up is you and me. All right? All right. So y'all be safe. And I will see you next time.